Welcome to my next video lecture. This video lecture is on module 5, which consists of two main topics, structure and union. So this module will also require many video sessions. The first out of them will be fundamentals about structure. So this is our first session on module 5 and overall it is 8th video session. So in this video session we will specifically discuss about the structure fundamentals. Now let's see what is a structure. A structure is basically collection of same or different data type variables. So now you can see here same or different data type variables. If you remember about arrays, I told you that it is also a collection of same data type variables. Array is a collection of same data type variables, whereas structure is a collection of same or different data type variables. It is basically user defined data type. If you remember about arrays, I already told you that it is user derived data type, whereas structure is user defined data type. Why it is called as user defined data type? Because in this case, in structures, a size of each field as well as the total variable size is decided by user. So you are free to decide what will be the size of each field as well as you are free to decide the total variable size, which is not the case in case of arrays. In case of arrays, the size of each field, that means element, will remain same. We cannot change it. It has to be same. And what we can change is total variable size. Like if I declare array of, let's say, data type int, name of array is a and capacity 100, then the size of every element will be 2 bytes, and since the capacity is 100, the total variable size will be 200 bytes. So all the elements will have same size, 2 bytes. I cannot change the size of field or size of element. It will remain same for all. This will be different in structure. In structure, we can decide size of every field, and they can be of different size. Let's see how to declare a structure and where it is used. So you can see the structure is mainly used to store and process the records. What do you mean by record? Record is a set of information which consists of many fields. For example, let us consider a record of cricket player. So you can see, or you know, that a cricket player record can consist of many fields. But for a simplicity, I am considering only 4 out of that many fields to create a structured data type. So let us consider that there are only 4 fields. Which are the 4 fields we are considering? The first field we will consider is name of player. The second field that we will consider is country of a player. The third field we will consider is number of matches played. And the fourth field that we will consider is batting average. Now, by using this type of information, we wanted to create a structured data type. So let us see how to declare it. Now, can we think of variables required for storing these different types of informations? Yes. Let us go one by one. What is the first information that I wanted to store about a player? Name of player. And you know, name of a player is a string. So to store it, we definitely require character array. So we will declare a variable like char nop, where nop stands for name of player, and with a capacity of 50. So we created character array. Then second field is country of a player, which is also a string. So definitely we require another character array to store the country of a player. So let us create a variable again, char. Name of the variable is cop, that is country of player, and capacity 50. Let us create third variable for storing number of matches played information, and you know, number of matches played are always integer. So we will take a int variable. Name of the variable is nom, that is number of matches. Then we will take fourth variable, which will be used for storing batting average, and batting average is a number which consists of decimal point in it, so it is going to be a float. So let us create a variable float BA. BA stands for batting average. So we require 4 different variables to store 4 different informations about a cricket player, right? But since these all parts are related to information of one player, we need to store them inside one variable. Now that is little difficult, because basic data type variable can store only one type of information at a time. That means int variable can store only integer, float variable can store only float value. But I wanted to have a single variable which will be able to store these all 4 parts. This is not possible by using basic data type or array. It is possible by using new data type, that is called as structure. So we need to have a variable of structure data type. Okay, now we will see how to declare a structure data type, because this data type doesn't exist. It is not a basic or generic data type. So user has to define a data type first, and then user can create a variable of that data type. So let us define a data type first. So declaration of structure data type. A structure data type can be declared by using a keyword struct. So struct is the keyword that I need to use as follows. We need to write like this. Use a keyword struct, then cricket. This is going to be the name of a structure data type, and then in a pair of curly brackets we need to define all the fields required for storing information. So since we required 4 fields, I will declare all these 4 fields as a part of this structure data type, whose name is cricket. So you can see cricket is the name of a structure data type. Then these 4 things, that is NOP, COP, NOM and BA, these all are called as fields of a structure data type. Where I should do it in my program and what will happen after doing this? This is mainly required to be performed before main. We need to write it before int main that we are writing in our program, int main or void main. And then this declaration we are doing in our program is a declaration of only data type, and it will not reserve any memory. What does this means? When we write this much in our program, that is struct cricket up to this semicolon, this is just writing a name of a data type. It is as good as writing only int in our program. Writing only int does not reserve any memory, or writing only float will not reserve any memory. Similarly, writing only this much will not reserve any memory. The memory will get reserved only if we create variable for this structure data type. So you can see, or you should understand this concept, that this is not a declaration of structure variable. This is a declaration of structure data type. Since this data type is not a basic data type, user has to define it. So it is user defined data type. First define a data type, and you know what is the significance of data type in the C language or in a programming language. The data type decides the size of a variable, the type of values that it can store, and which operators are valid. These 3 properties about a variable are always decided by data type. So now if I create a variable of this data type, that is struct cricket, it allows me to store these different types of values in a single variable. The size of this variable will be decided by this structure data type, and of course it will decide which operators are valid and which are not. So let us go ahead and we will try to create a variable of a structure data type. But before that, I wanted to give you 2 assignments for the worksheet number 4. The first question is, can we declare a structure student which will consist of roll number, name of student, marks in physics, chemistry and maths. So I want you to declare this structure data type which will be able to store this type of a record. And second structure data type that I want you should declare is employee. This is for storing the employee record, which consists of following information like employee ID, the name of employee, experience of the employee in years, and salary of the employee. So you try this on your own and try to come out with the two structured data types. One structured data type I want is student, and second structured data type I want is employee. Now let's go ahead. We have already discussed about how to define a structured data type, so you can use this concept to define the two structured data type which I have asked. Now next problem is we wanted to declare structure variable. So let us create a structure variable. A structure variable can be declared by using two different methods. Let's see what is method 1. It can be declared with structure data type as follows. I can declare a structure variable along with structure data type. How? This is the declaration of structure data type, and before we before we write the semicolon, just write name of the variable that we wanted to create. So if I write P1 over here, it means I am creating P1 as a structure variable. This is syntax 1. We can create a structure variable along with structure data type. That means outside the main. Second method is also there, and it can be declared in this method by using or like other basic data type variables. Like if I wanted to declare a variable by using int data type, I need to write int x, where int is data type, x is variable. Similarly, I can create variable P1 of type structure data type by writing like this. So struct cricket is the data type and P1 is the variable name. So I can create a variable P1 of data type struct cricket. Now if I do like this, who will decide size of P1? Of course, struct cricket. Who will decide which values the P1 can hold? Struct cricket. Who will decide which operators are valid on P1? Struct cricket, because struct cricket is a data type of a variable P1. Okay. Now let's see what will happen if I declare a variable of structure data type. When we create a structure data type variable, we will get memory reserved. A block of memory will be reserved for that variable. Question is, what will be the size of that variable? It is the sum of size of all the fields. So size of a structure variable is sum of size of all the fields. For example, we have declared a structure variable P1 for the structure data type struct cricket. Then what will be the size of P1? It is like this. We need to find out what is the size of field 1. Since it is character array of 50 capacity, its size is 50 bytes. What will be the size of second field COP? Since this is also character array of capacity 50, so size of field 2 is 50 bytes. Third field is NOM, which is of type int, single variable, so size of field 3 is 2 bytes. And size of field 4, that is BA, which is of type float, single variable, that means size of field 4 will be 4 bytes. So what is the size of P1? It is 50 plus 50 plus 2 plus 4, that is 106 bytes. You can see we have created a huge variable whose size is 106 bytes. What type of information this variable can hold? That is second property decided by data type. This variable P1 can hold two strings, one in NOP, other in COP. It can also hold one integer number in NOM, and it can also hold one float number in the field BA. So it is a mixture. It is a mixture of different data type values. So I hope you have understood what is the meaning of collection of same or different data type variables. Now, one structure variable can store record of only one player. This is very important. When we create P1, the P1 can store only the record of one player, that is player 1. What if I wanted to store and process the records of many cricket players? Then P1 is insufficient, because P1 can store a record of only one player. So to store and process the records of many players, we need to create many structure variables, and that can be performed by using array of structure variable. So let's see how to create array of a structure variable. It can be performed by creating array like this: struct cricket, P is the name of an array, and in bracket 100 is the capacity of this array. So we are trying to create array P of capacity 100, and what is the data type of this array? Struct cricket. when we write this command in our program, what will happen? We will get a huge memory block reserved. The name of that entire memory block will be P, because it is array P. And how many elements it will consist of? It will consist of 100 elements inside it, and it will appear somehow or something like this inside a memory. So it's a huge array of 100 elements. So P0, P1, P2, P3, P4, likewise up to P99. So these are the 100 elements of the array P. What every element will now consist of? Since this is array of struct cricket, every element will consist of 4 fields: NOP, COP, NOM and BA. Like this also will consist of 4 fields: NOP, COP, NOM and BA. So what does this means? The size of array P is going to be very huge. How much it will be? It will be 100 multiplied by 106. Why 100? Because the array consists of 100 elements. And what is inside every element? Inside every element is a structure variable whose size is 106 bytes. So size of array will be 100 into 106. So that is going to be 10,600 bytes. So it's a huge memory block reserved when we create array of structure variable. How many player records this array will be able to store? This array will be able to store records of 100 cricket players, up to 100 cricket players. Then every variable, if you see P0, P1, P99, every element of the array will get a separate copy of the fields. Like P0 has got NOP, similarly P1 also has got a separate copy of NOP, like P99 will also have a separate copy of NOP. Every variable will get a separate copy of NOP. But then how to access the field to store information? Because if I write only NOP, then the compiler will get confused whether this NOP we wanted to access, or this NOP, or this NOP. Similarly, when I write only NOM, then again which NOM should be considered for initialization, whether this or this. So that is a problem. So this problem will be solved by using one special operator that is called as member access operator, whose symbol is full stop, dot, period. So this particular operator can be used to access the field of a structure variable or a member of a structure variable. Therefore this is called as member access operator. General syntax to use this operator is, we need to write variable name dot field name equal to value. Now let us understand who is variable name in our case. P0 is the variable name. What is the field name in our case? NOP is a field name, COP is field name, NOM is field name, BA is field name. We have to understand this concept, that what is a field and what is a structure variable. So P0 is a structure variable, whereas NOP, COP, NOM and BA are fields of a structure variable. And then, for example, I can write like this. I can write P0, that is a variable name, dot NOM, that is a field name, equal to some value, let's say 135. If I write this command in my program, what will happen is 135 will get stored into the NOM field of the variable P0. What if I write P99.BA is equal to 34.61? In this case, 34.61 value will get stored in the BA field of a variable P99. I hope you have understood how to declare a structure data type. That is the first thing that we should do when we wanted to use a structure in our program. First thing that we should do is declare a structure data type, and this declaration is required to be present above main, before main. And then after declaring a structure data type, we can declare a structure variable to reserve a memory. After declaring a structure variable, we will get memory reserved, which can be used for storing the values. The values in the field can be stored by using member access operator, that is full stop. So how to use this full stop? Again I repeat, we need to write variable name, that is the name of a structure variable, dot field name and equal to value. if I wanted to assign the value, if I wanted to accept this value from user, then we have to specify address of this in the scanf function. That we will do when we will write program on a structured data type. So this session I will stop here itself. These are only fundamental things about a structure. The programs on structure we will see in next video session. Till that time, goodbye.